I believe that those who actively read the manga already know that Boruto has entered into a fierce battle against Jura, the embodiment of the 10 tails. And for those of you who don't follow the manga, I'll let you in on something. This animation is based on the events of Season 2, which we will soon see adapted in the anime. According to Kashin Koji, Boruto has no chance of surviving a confrontation against Jura. Thanks to the omnidirectional vision technique, Jiraiya's clone was able to witness countless potential futures, and in every single one of them, Boruto died at the hands of the 10 tails. However, there's an important detail here. This prophecy was referring to a one-on-one battle. That means the main protagonist still has a chance to survive if Kawaki steps in. Many people tend to underestimate Kawaki, but you shouldn't forget that he wields the power of Isshiki, the same Isshiki who effortlessly defeated both Naruto and Sasuke. And if it weren't for Kurama's self-sacrifice and Kawaki's brilliant deception, which tricked Isshiki into implanting the karma into Kawaki's clone instead of the original, that particular Otsutsuki would have become the most powerful being among all Otsutsuki we've seen so far. So, what exactly does karma do? Karma grants access to the full combat potential of an Otsutsuki. That's the core reason Kawaki doesn't need traditional training. Just imagine this. You're a regular person, someone who's never practiced any kind of martial arts, who's never even done a single push-up in their life. Your body is in terrible shape, and your only knowledge of fighting comes from anime. Then one day, someone implants karma into you. Upon activation, your brain suddenly gains access to every fighting style, every battle instinct, and every technique the Otsutsuki who gave you that karma ever possessed. And your fragile, weak body is instantly transformed, reinforced and enhanced as though you were that Otsutsuki himself, a being who has trained and fought for centuries. Just like that, you become incredibly powerful without a single hour of training. That is precisely why Kawaki doesn't need to train. He simply taps into karma. But karma doesn't stop there. It also provides a massive reserve of chakra, access to a separate dimension where metallic cubes and chakra rods are stored. And in that place, time does not flow. That means anything placed inside can stay there forever. Beyond that, Kawaki can shrink himself, shrink his techniques, and shrink a wide variety of other objects. And I haven't even touched on chakra absorption or regeneration. That's just standard for him at this point. And keep in mind, all of this comes with just the second stage of karma. The first stage doesn't even include the horn. The second one does. And I'm going to suggest something here, something I think you'll agree with. There's probably a final form where the user fully becomes an Otsutsuki. However, despite having all this power, Kawaki ended up being more like Code, losing whenever he got the chance. Why? Because when Amado was restoring karma for him, he deliberately took all of Kawaki's combat power, all his raw physical strength, and every one of his strongest abilities, and converted them into pure durability. Thanks to this modification, Kawaki became virtually immortal, making it nearly impossible to kill him by normal means. Amado did all of this because he feared that Kawaki would die before fulfilling his true purpose. And what is that purpose? Amado wants to bring his daughter back to life. But for that to happen, Kawaki has to implant karma into Akiba's clone, karma that Amado himself engineered. Amado spent years studying this seal. He knew that Jigen had no intention of honoring their agreement and would never give karma to his daughter, so Amado decided to create it on his own. But here's the catch. Only an Otsutsuki can apply karma. That's why Kawaki is essential. In recent manga chapters, Boruto revealed to his brother that his power had been intentionally nerfed in favor of durability. After learning this, Kawaki struck a new deal with Amado. The scientist would restore all of his original strength and abilities, and in return, Kawaki would pass the karma onto Amado's daughter, but only after eliminating every threat in the world. That means taking down the 10 tails and all of its clones, and then every last Otsutsuki. Amado seemed to agree, although we weren't shown the moment it happened explicitly. And now we arrive at the current events. Boruto versus Jura. It's the perfect moment to finally showcase Kawaki's restored power. But why can't Boruto defeat Jura on his own? Hasn't he become much stronger after the time skip? He's learned a wide range of impressive techniques, mastered a sword fighting style that resembles Sasuke's, and even developed his own version of the Flying Thunder God technique. His durability has increased significantly, and he now has access to Otsutsuki DNA, which allows him to fly. On top of that, Boruto has mastered an incredible new technique called Uzuhiko, a Rasengan-based ability that incorporates the planet's very rotation. There are two known versions of this technique. The first is weaker, but if it lands, it completely disrupts the enemy's sense of balance. They'll be unable to stand, unable to fight properly, until Boruto deactivates the effect. Against a regular shinobi, this move is practically a guaranteed victory. But the second version? It's way more dangerous. It doesn't just knock you down, it tears you apart. It's essentially an evolution of Naruto's Rasen Shuriken, the one he used against Kakuzu. But Uzuhiko is even more powerful. So with a technique like that, it seems like Boruto should absolutely be able to take down Jura. But here's the problem. Jura isn't just any opponent. He is the 10 tails itself. And let's not forget, the Rasengan was originally created based on the concept of tailed beast orbs. That means Jura has the natural ability to completely disperse or neutralize the technique, at least the first version. As for the second, Boruto needs to remain on the ground long enough to activate it, and to do that, that, someone must keep Jura distracted. That someone could be Sarada, who has access to the Ohirume ability and can pull Jura toward a chakra sphere, or it could be Kawaki. As for Jura himself, he's an extremely dangerous entity because he is the consciousness of the Ten Tails. When he came to Konoha in search of Naruto Uzumaki, he said he could still sense the chakra of the Nine Tails, and the reason he can do that is likely because he is a tailed beast. Jura openly declared himself to be a Biju. That gives him access to wood element, massive reserves of chakra, and the ability to control all Shinju. This includes not just Hidari and the others, but also those tailed beast-like creatures that resemble Frieza from Dragon Ball. And because of Code's reckless behavior, Jura also got his hands on a piece of spatial fabric that once belonged to Shibai himself. On top of that, Jura possesses a Rinnegan, which lets him form tailed beast balls and see through the eyes of his Shinju clones. And honestly, I believe this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Jura's true strength. That's why this battle, Boruto versus Jura, must end with someone stepping in to intervene. If no one does, then the main character is doomed. But don't worry, the next chapter is dropping soon, so we won't have to wait much longer. Until then, I'll be waiting for your thoughts in the comments. Best of luck to everyone.